scream, at least it seems to scream in my ear. But if you need more, I'll get closer to the microphone. I'm here on behalf of the Fish and Wildlife Service, Little Great Lakes office, representing a bunch of very fine biologists that are present currently here, and many in history back to 2012 when this program started. And I guess I'm here initially to raise the flag. It's a little bit of column 444, 4444, and a little bit of a commercial. And I want to talk a little bit about what we do and where we're located, and where we're headed, and maybe some value added for some of you in the room. First two bullet points here are basically our mission. We're talking about the early detection program for aquatic invasive species. And our jurisdiction is the Lower Great Lakes, which is basically Lake Erie from Ohio east, Lake Ontario, the canal system, St. Lawrence is our jurisdiction. We're located, our office is located at the Iroquois National Wildlife Refuge in Invasive, New York, which is approximately halfway between Rochester and Buffalo. Not really close to a Great Lake, but convenient in that it's in between the two lakes we serve, Lake Ontario or Lake Erie. Also a federal facility there. And so a lot of questions about, oh, you work there, what do you do, why are you there? Didn't really hear much about you, and I thought this would be a great meeting with a mix of professionals, other agency people, university researchers, and lots of graduate students. So again, a good opportunity to raise the flag and see what we do. Aquatic invasive species work scientifically is a tough one, because you're looking for almost nothing, or you're successful if you collect nothing of what you're looking for. So scientifically, sometimes it's not super satisfying. But what can be is this third bullet item here, and I'd like you to take a look at, is when we're out collecting, we identify every fish. We take abiotic data. We take morphologic data from each of these. We take a portion and measure that. And we do sit on a large data set. And so as we go forward, we do stick our heads in a lot of haystacks and looking for those needles. And maybe it's a good time with the horse's ass looking at you to talk a little bit about yesterday, and this is not personal, but thinking back to the talk that was shared with Jim Bowes and Ed Roseman yesterday, talking about the Detroit River and the development of that large program where they created structures for spawning habitat for sturgeon. And some of the things that Jim talked about there, talking about how many times our means, our budgets, our personnel, our facilities aren't large enough to do some of those really big projects that develop in our minds. And the key to that really is collaboration, and how can we each build upon each other's programs, combine resources, combine agencies, develop partnerships to go on. And most often when I come to meetings and symposiums, I have that second wavelength running in the back of my brain about, you're watching the talks, but behind the scenes, how can I do that statistical analysis with my data? What does that result mean for, how can that be translated to my system that I'm working on, and developing new ideas. And that's part of this, the process, this collegial process of creativity in research. And I guess for the rest of this talk, I'd like you to heighten that second wavelength within you, and think about whether there's an interagency collaboration that could happen here, and whether or not your university could start a project, or whether your graduate student could collaborate with us, or potentially for some of the students here, maybe this is an employment opportunity at some point in time. So really think about that. And I was struck, hey, they're able to do that in Michigan and in Detroit, those great big projects. why can't we do similar things in New York? What are some of the things that are hindering us in that? And so as I talk about our 2006 preliminary data, kind of mundane data, but it should give you a flavor of what we do, potentially what we can offer, the means, the mode, potentially the opportunity to collaborate going forward. So within New York waters, as early detection monitoring, we take a look at sites, priority sites that are the highest risk, highest vector analysis for potential invasive species, and generally center around ports, rivers, high population areas. So the obvious, Buffalo Upper Niagara, Lower Niagara, Rochester, Huron-Quoit Bay, Oswego, and we also did some Lake Erie, or some Erie, Pennsylvania, and Presque Isle Bay this year, but obviously it's a New York meeting. Didn't include that. But in general, these are the areas we work. As I said, we also work in the canal system as well, but I'll present the data here on these sites. So our early detection gear, we target gametes for eDNA, mostly for Asian carp, in some tributaries in cooperation with our region to the west, looking for genetic material for Asian carp on the Asian carp front. We do, moving up the trophic level, we do a lot of larval fish collection using bongo nights, night and day, morphological identification. We send them out for genetics testing, which is getting there. As far as that, here's some holopedium, a couple little larval fish. We do light traps. So this is kind of our early season work, looking at fish that are in higher abundance, are in predictable areas, easy to catch. As we move on, we also do a lot of adult and juvenile sampling. Our gears are paired fight nets. There's one set in the Lower Niagara. We do trawls for electrofishing, both day and night, at a myriad of locations in there for benthic invertebrates, Castrodendis, deer, benthic sleds. We have a lot of biologists around the water a lot. As this shows this is adult and juvenile sampling. We were out there, actually sampled 247 different sites within those two lake systems, Buffalo Upper Niagara, Lower Niagara River, Rochester, Huron-Quoit Bay, Oswego, and Presque Isle. In general, from June, we got great weather this year into mid-December, looking at San Francisco and Huron-Quoit Bay, and a couple of our own biologists out there showing off pretty pictures and big smiles. Now, in addition to that, we handled over, just this year, 82,000 fish, which is quite impressive. And like I said, here's a data set we're building. Add to that, also multi-thousand, 3, 4, 5,000 larval fish as well, which are morphologically identified as far as we can, and moving on into genetics. And resulting unsatisfying thing, we didn't find any previously undocumented non-native species, which is the target. That's good. But boy, that's a lot of work to say that every year. And I guess in these changing administrations and times of budget, it's great to say, well, we didn't catch anything this year again. And we can't wait to go out next year to catch nothing, because that would be great. So we need some value added then. We would prefer to have a little more tangible, and we're really happy to collaborate with that type of thing. Other ways we want to talk about how do we measure our success, and how do we know we're looking in the right places. And one of the things that we do as a metric is take a look at the number of species we collect over time and in our area. So within this, with Buffalo Upper Niagara and Rochester, which we put a lot of effort in, we caught 43 species each there. Lower Niagara, a little less effort, we caught 36. And kind of historically, so the program started in 2012, Great Lakes Restoration Initiative money, and As we ramped up here, hired new biologists, did a lot of just plain old randomized samples, and which basically, it was good statistically to do random sampling for something that you don't know is there or not, if it's there or not. We also didn't probably run gear-specific depths, gear-appropriate depths and locations just because they were random, or electrofishing in areas that are too deep. We didn't catch a lot of fish, but you got to start somewhere with that. So our catches were very low here, and as we started revising some of our methodology, looking at more gear-specific randomization of sampling site locations, we started increasing our catch. And this past year was very successful. We were able to have stronger snap. We had terrific weather, minimal mechanical breakdowns, etc. We had a great year, and we're able to move to new and different sites. We moved down to Pennsylvania, we moved farther east to Oswego, and thus our catch rates were increased. More haystacks, we're sticking our head into looking for that needle. Just a quick, I guess you got to put some data in here, but looking at richness per site, Buffalo, Upper Niagara in the upper left, Lower Niagara, and Rochester, Irondequoit Bay, we seem to be doing similar amounts of effort, similar success as years go by. But as we continue into the future, it's time now that we're 4 or 5 years into this process. As the gurus of early detection monitoring say, it's time to reevaluate. Okay, you've got a nice baseline data set. It's time to become more efficient and more targeted in particular areas. Increase those number of species that you're catching, increase the likelihood to catch rare species where potentially the new invasives would be. And so we're in the process now of really critically evaluating our historical data set and modifying our site selection to become more pinpoint, make it maybe less random, more targeted. We're doing habitat mapping to put another spatial layer on that going forward to spend more time fishing more efficiently and more directly to increase our catch rates. And we're exploring new and different kinds of gear and ways to deploy that gear with our other conservation offices throughout the Great Lakes. There's 3 other offices that do the same thing. And so now, again, we are on the water, we have lots of vessels, we have lots of personnel, we have lots of gear. And so think again in the background, collaboration opportunities, employment opportunities. Is there anything that we can do to spackle a hole in your program, or to do some value added, or to think of bigger projects? So we can come up here and say in a year or 2, there's more that could be done with this opportunity, with this data set. Be very happy to talk to anybody about that as we go forward. We are obviously continuing the program next year and beyond. We're in the process of critically evaluating everything we do and our efficiencies, and I guess are in a place where we can change streams, and so to speak, change the way we do things. And as we become more efficient, we potentially have extra time to do other things, extra studies that potentially we can do. We're meeting next week to evaluate that kind of stuff with our other offices. And so I guess I would close with that type of thing and ask for any questions or any comments. Be happy to address anything here or afterwards.